Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked where I climb the online VGC 15 ladder. Changing up my team back to the Mega Salamence team today after using the Mega Gardevoir team for a while. I am building some new teams and some new Pokemon will be featured on Road to Ranked very soon, but I still have to get them together. And right now my priority is actually team building for Apex Pokemon, which is this weekend. It's a pretty large tournament with over $1,000 in the prize pool, and it should be streamed and there will be a lot of good coverage, so I'll keep you guys updated on that. Now before I get started with today's episode, I just have to let you guys know I'm really frustrated because basically the internet around here has been really bad today. If you don't know, there was this huge winter storm / blizzard that hit the East Coast. New York City wasn't hit too bad. I mean, it was still a lot of snow, a lot more than we normally see, but it's affected my internet to a point where I just tried to record 4 times in a row and got disconnected all 4 times. And the worst part is I ended up losing points for each time. And you're probably asking me, like, why didn't you just stop looking for it? And the thing is, like, I care more about getting a video out to you guys than honestly about my rating, since I know I can get my rating up anytime. So I'm really scared that I won't be able to even make it through this episode. You know, I'm gonna go look for a battle, but you see my rating's at 1741. Like, I was literally at 1810 when I started recording today, and then I ended up getting matched with lower rated players with like ratings of 1550 to 1600, and that just kind of tanked. And I promise you it's not an excuse for losses, because you guys know I always show you guys all my losses and wins, so like there's no reason for me not to, you know, cover up something like that. But yeah, I'm just really frustrated. I hope I can even make it through this match. You know, so climbing back up is gonna be a challenge, that's for sure. I'm just more upset because like we were doing so well on Road to Rank. We like peaked at 1860, had a couple rough losses the last 2 days, but we were still at like 1820, and then like bad internet hit. But you know what? It is what it is. I'm just gonna have to deal with it and try to climb our way up, as Bruce from Texas is going to be our first opponent of the day with the rating of 1551. So I do have to apologize to you guys. I hope you understand, and thanks for sticking out with me here. As Bruce here has got a team, and I'm hoping that I can make it through this match, because in the last match I made it through 3 turns and got disconnected. But Bruce here's got a team of Metagross, Bisharp, Hariyama, Swampert, Rotom Heat, and Staraptor. So the Mega is probably Metagross, though there's a chance that Swampert is Mega as well. But if I had to guess, Metagross is the Mega Evolution. I do like leading with the Gengar here a lot, so I'm definitely going to lead with Gengar. Partnered up with it, I kind of like... I actually don't know who I want to bring next to it. I'm also curious as to what kind of Staraptor it is, just because it might be Band or Scarf. It might be Reckless instead of Intimidate as well. I would go with Salamence normally, but the thing is he's got a not a Terrakion, he's got a Bisharp, which I don't want to give the boost to. Honestly, I'm considering Amoonguss right now. I don't know though. I know Amoonguss is a pretty bad idea in this, just because he's got Staraptor, Rotom Heat, and Metagross. But then again, it can really beat the Swampert, so maybe I should bring it. I don't know. Tough calls to make right now. You know what? I'm actually gonna go with Sylveon. Yeah. Mence in the back, and Bisharp is the last one. I actually feel really good about those 4. So I'm gonna lock in as we go into our battle, trying to climb back up into 1800s. Hopefully, no disconnection this time around. And like, it's ridiculous because like the last 4 video files I have recorded are just me commentating like a 10-minute match and then it getting disconnected. And it was a shame because one of them was against a Worlds caliber player, Eloy, who has qualified for Worlds the last 3 years. So like the thing I'm most upset about was like we had a really good game, and like to feature world quality players on this channel is always really good. So that's what I'm most upset now. But we see the shiny Rotom Heat and Swampert coming out from my opponent here. So Rotom Heat's definitely the bigger threat, since it resists my Hyper Voice. I'm just going to Sludge Bomb and Hyper Voice this first turn to get as much damage off as possible. I also don't know what kind of Swampert this is. If it's normal Swampert, that would definitely catch me off guard. I don't know. It's just like, but the thing is, normal Swampert definitely works on a lot of teams. You know, it was featured on Road to Ranked a couple of days ago. Angel Miranda, who I mention often, good friend of mine, used it very early on in one of the first Premier challenges in America. Ended up winning with a special set. He had like Expert Belt, I believe, with Wide Guard, Earth Power, Ice Beam, Water type attack as well. So the thing is, Swampert, when I see it, I normally think it's physical, but there's actually a good chance it's not, as Swampert goes for Protect here. But I'm fine with that because I'm going to get a lot of damage against this Rotom Heat with the Sludge Bomb and the Hyper Voice. Might even put it in a Sludge Bomb KO range this next turn. Rotom actually went for the Discharge, so really hoping no Paras here. If you guys remember Road to Ranked a couple days ago, there's the Para though. Road ranked a couple days ago, my opponent had a discharge, Rotom Wash, and he also paralyzed me. So discharge, honestly, one of the most annoying moves to deal with. But you know what? That's fine. I bring Rotom to KO range from Sludge Bomb, and I can still safely Hyper Voice this next turn. So I'm just gonna Sludge Bomb and Hyper Voice. He might protect with Rotom, but then, like, what's Swampert really gonna do? I'm gonna get a Hyper Voice off. I didn't want the Paralysis, mainly because I don't want the 25% chance of not being able to attack. I don't mind being slower, but that definitely makes things a bit more annoying. That was a good protect on my opponent's end the first turn to really scout out for what I was gonna do, though. So worst case scenario here is Rotom protects, Swampert knocks out Gengar, and Sylveon gets fully paralyzed. Hopefully that doesn't happen. I mean, even if that does happen, I get a free switch into what I have in the back. But the thing is, I really need at least one Hyper Voice on this Swampert so I can start getting damage off against it, just because it is kind of annoying to deal with. Given that it didn't Mega Evolve, I'm assuming it's just normal Swampert. But I'm just glad right now because the game is not disconnected, so that's good. Alright, let's see though. He could switch out, oh wow, he actually switches out Swampert. Was not anticipating that. Into Metagross? Okay, yeah. Good switch out there. Also shiny, all the shinies on my opponent's team. As Rotom goes for a protect, so making the plays right now. So perhaps I could have predicted that and Will-O-Wisp the Swampert as well as Hyper Voicing. At least I get a Hyper Voice off here though. That's some damage. A lot of damage actually. Rotom does continue to heal back slightly from that leftovers, but I'm fine with that. Let's see. I kind of want to Will-O-Wisp it, but like it's probably Mega Metagross and it's probably going to protect. Like that makes the most sense to me. Yeah, I'm just gonna Sludge Bomb Rotom, anticipating the protect, and switch out Sylveon into Mence because he's probably gonna Mega Evolve, so that way I get the Intimidate off against it. Actually, wait, that was really stupid. Intimidate wouldn't activate since he's he doesn't Mega Evolve before I switch. So that was kind of a mishap on my end. And it is Mega Metagross. Okay. Really expecting a protect here, but let's see. Yep, he does protect. Okay, this is fine because now it's actually in KO range for Life 4 Bisharp Sucker Punch, and I do knock out the Rotom Heat successfully here. So that turn ends up working out alright. I actually end up gaining some momentum just because Sylveon obviously doesn't do well against Metagross at all. So I am up 4-3 now, but he's got a Mega Metagross, which actually gives my team a considerable amount of trouble. I presume we're going to see Swampert back in here again, and we do. Okay. Now this is interesting. I'm going to go for the WoW onto Metagross, Mega Evolve, and Protect. He might just target down Gengar. If that is the case, that's fine, because I got a free switch into the Bisharp, which I have in the back. So I'm playing this turn assuming, like, worst case scenario, I lose Gengar. That's it. It's not like Metagross or Swampert tend to have setup moves anyway. So if that does happen, then I just get a free switch into Bisharp, and if he somehow targets Salamence, say with an Ice Punch, then I just get to burn the Metagross with a Will-O-Wisp. Though in retrospect, I really feel like the Metagross is just going to target down my Gengar. So I actually could have played that a bit smarter and switched out Gengar into Bisharp, I think, just because he's probably going to go for a Steel or Psyche type attack onto that slot. But who knows? If he does go for the Ice Punch play into Gengar, then, or into Mence, then I get a free burn against it. But I think I actually should have switched out Bisharp instead of switching in Salamence, but we'll see. Okay, so Salamence is going to Mega Evolve here. And Protect. What does he go for? Wow, Protect with Swampert. That was not what I was anticipating. That's fine. Ooh, oh, so he's not Jolly Metagross. That's what I was anticipating, but because he's not, I actually get the burn onto Metagross, which is huge. As he went for the Meteor Mash into Gengar and misses, that's definitely unfortunate, so I do have to apologize to my opponent about that. I wouldn't have mind. I actually wanted Gengar to faint here, so I would have gotten a free switch in, but you know, I'm not going to complain by any means. So I'm actually going to burn the Swampert here because I want to scout out what kind of set it is. And actually, yeah, I'll just Will-O-Wisp it and Double Edge it. Or maybe I can just EQ here. Though he might Protect with Metagross. You know what? Yeah, I'm going to EQ because Unless like the Swamper's special and carries Ice Beam, the burn's gonna negate that Swampert from KOing Salamence anyway. He does protect with Metagross though, and Gengar does connect with the Will-O-Wisp here, which is nice. Let's see if it's lummed. Nope, it's not. So I get the burn off and I get an Earthquake off, so this Gengar's been really helpful. I really, actually I just realized Metagross and Gengar speed high anyway, so I might have just won a speed high there. And it is actually special Swampert with Ice Beam, wow. So that's like the one thing that could have really given me trouble, and I should have played better assuming he did have that. So he really should have just double edged instead, but oh well. That's fine. Yeah, so getting that burn was definitely fortunate on Metagross. I don't know if he's admin or Jolly. If he is admin, then obviously it wouldn't have mattered, but yeah, I mean, he missed the Meteor Mash too, which is unfortunate, but now I get a free switch into Bisharp. So I'm gonna Icy Wind in case he tries to switch out, and I'm just gonna knock off this Swampert. And Icy Wind gets some extra damage onto Swampert as well. So it is special normal Swampert. That was like the one thing I figured would give my Mega Man's trouble. Everything else would be fine, but, you know, hey, he did have it. And the reason why I think I should have just double-edged Swampert there instead was because, like, Metagross isn't a threat, especially since I've got Life Orb Bisharp, which it just beats, or which Bisharp beats. So, I should have just double-edged there, I think. Especially since Swampert protected the last turn, but, oh well. We'll see how this turn plays out. My internet has not dropped this entire game, so I'm thinking maybe my internet's finally doing alright. I ended up resetting my router, like, multiple times, too, so maybe finally it's actually listening to me and obeying me. But this is a pretty tense match for sure. And once again, I do think I misplayed a bit by switching in Salamence instead of the Bisharp. Like, I knew I wouldn't have intimidated it since, obviously, Mega Evolutions occurred before, but at the time, I just, like, don't know what was going on in my head. And obviously, normal Metagross has Clear Body. He goes for the double here with Metagross, but that's fine since I went for the knockoff and the Icy Wind here anyway. Icy Wind does connect here. Shouldn't do too much damage. Yeah. Oh, wow. Brings it under 50. What item does it have? That's what I'm really curious about. So I get the knockoff to KO it there. Expert Belt. Okay, so I guess it's like a copy of Angel Miranda Swampert, which I mentioned earlier was a special variant, which is cool to see, but it's okay because that was the bigger threat. Like I said, Metagross really does not threaten this Bisharp at all. As Hariyama's going to be my opponent's last Pokemon, and that's great because obviously I've got Sylveon as my last one. So he's going to probably want to fake out Bisharp here, so I'm going to Sludge Bomb the Hariyama and just protect Bisharp. Even if he doesn't fake it out, like, I don't want him to close combat it since I can't KO the one-hit KO the Hariyama right now. This way, you know, he goes for, there's really not much he can do, especially since that Metagross is going to faint from burn eventually anyway, and I've still got Sylveon confirmed to the back, so, I think I should have this game locked up. But obviously, it's not over until it actually is. So let's see. Bisharp protects here. Gengar, okay, so I assume he just close combated with Hariyama. I do get a Sludge Bomb against it. Does a nice amount of damage there. Zen Headbutt does connect with Gengar. That's probably going to KO me. Yep. And he probably went for the close combat into my Bisharp, as he did. This is interesting now. So I bring in Sylveon. Actually, yeah, I mean, it's fine. All I have to do is Sucker Punch Hyper Voice here. Even if Metagross protects, like, he's going to faint from burn anyway. So worse, like, I can still lose because of, like, a billion full paralysis on Sylveon. But otherwise it should be alright. Since Hyper Voice would knock out Hariyama anyway. So at this point I just have to hope no full paras because, the game's sealed up if I just get one Hyper Voice off. The reason why I'm Sucker Punching Metagross here and not Iron Heading the Hariyama is because Metagross can otherwise get an Iron Head against my Sylveon, so he's forced to attack here or protect, meaning that Metagross is effectively eliminated from the game. So, like, it's basically... Oh, wow, he goes for Bullet Punch. Yikes. I should have anticipated that, actually. You know what? That ends up working out fine because, like, it's alright. But now it's at the point where if I get, like, 2 full paralysis, I might actually lose. So I really need to hope I can get this Hyper Voice off this turn or the following turn. Like I said, it's not over until it's over. So, there's the para. There's the para. Oh, my gosh. Metagross faints from burn, but yeah, man. I should have anticipated Bullet Punch. Like, most Mega Metagrosses tend to not carry Bullet Punch, at least in my experience. Like, I didn't run it when I had, but, oh my gosh, it's actually coming down to this. Can Sylveon get the Hyper Voice off, guys? Can he get it off? 1 full paralysis. And this is Pokemon. I've had, like, 4 full paras in a row before, so I don't know. And if this Hariyama carries Rock Slide, that might make things even more difficult. Oh boy, here we go. Opponent taking a while to make his move here. I don't know what you really need to decide on. If it doesn't have Rock Slide, then I'm alright, because it's forced to close combat or knockoff, neither which do very much damage to Sylveon. Unless Hariyama has, like, a way to hit me for super effective, but most tend to not have it on their movesets. I don't know, though. I don't know. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Opponent is taking such a long time. This is so tense! So tense. So tense. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, I really thought he was just going to Iron Head Sylveon. The Bullet Punch play was very good. Okay, moves finally selected. Oh, he does have Rock Slide, but I avoid it. But I'm fully paralyzed. Oh my gosh, here we go. Come on, just select Rock Slide, dude. Please. Let's find out who wins this battle. Obviously, it's coming down to RNG. 2 full paras already in a row. Fortunate that I missed the Rock Slide, but I had the chance to win once again, and I didn't get it, so... One more turn here. I might be able to even survive 2 Rock Slides, I don't know, but I'm not counting on it. So it's basically Drew or Die this turn. I'm really wondering what, like, my opponent is thinking right now, because it's like, why would you not click Rock Slide? What else would you, what would you consider right now? I don't know. Obviously, you should take as much time as you need in VGC, but, like, in scenarios like this, when it's, like, one-on-one, and there's really not much necessary time, or there's not, like, much you need to really think about, I wonder, like, what they are thinking about. But let's see. Bruce taking, like, all the time here right now, too. Does go for another Rock Slide, does connect with Sylveon. How much damage will it do? 80 down to 16, but Sylveon gets the Hyper Voice off, does not flinch or get paralyzed, and I'm going to be able to win the first game of today in a very, 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 very tense match. That was a very clutch bullet punch in the end of the game. I still would have Sucker Punched regardless whether I knew he had Bullet Punch or not, just because. If he went just for the Iron Head, he would have KO'd my Sylveon. Sylveon was my one way of beating the Hariyama, so... A disconnection? Is that on my end? I don't think so. I was gonna, like, freak out because, like I said, I've been disconnected 4 matches in a row, and they've all been on my end. Like, when they were, like, sometimes, like, right before I'd win, I'd get disconnected on my end. So I'm glad that went through, and that was a really good game. That was a really good game, despite my opponent's rating being somewhat lower. So 1749 now, obviously making that climb up back to the 1800s. That was a very long match, but I really enjoyed it, and it doesn't get much more intense than last turns when you're basically rolling the dice. So good game to my opponent there. I don't know if the disconnection there was because he was just frustrated, or I don't know. Or maybe just he lives on the East Coast too and has bad internet. But second opponent of the day is going to be Panda with a rating of 1683 with a very interesting team here. Rain with Mawile and Heatran. So you see Politoed, Kingdra, Mawile, Heatran, Landorus, and Thundurus T. Interesting. It's weird to see, like, Politoed and Heatran on the same team, but, you know, if you are bringing the Politoed, you're probably going to lead with Heatran and have Poly in the back, or, you know, just bring Poly and don't bring Heatran, or vice versa. So it definitely makes sense. Now let's see. Amoonguss is fantastic in this match. Really is. Okay, I think I'm going to go with Amoonguss. I'm definitely leading Amoonguss, and I think I want to go Gengar. But then the thing is, Heatran really beats that, and he might just lead with Heatran. So, So I don't know if I could go Terrakion and Amoonguss, but I don't know. By not having Hydreigon, I don't have a way to, like, I would definitely bring Hydreigon here if I had it. And obviously I replaced it. I do think I still want to lead with Amoonguss, though. Amoonguss and Immense? Oops. This is really tough. I feel like Thundurus Heatran is my opponent's best lead, so I kind of want to go Terrakion and Amoonguss. You know what? Yeah, I'm going to go with that. Who do I need in the back? Bisharp to take in the Intimidates for sure. Maybe I should just lead with Bisharp. Bisharp, and the last one probably want Mega Mence. Whoops. Oh wow, did I choose Gengar? After timing out in team preview yesterday, I need to make sure I don't do that anymore. Alright, Terrakion, Amoonguss, Bisharp, and Mence. Yeah, I feel pretty good with those, and we'll lock in and see how this plays out. I do like my opponent's team a lot, though. I haven't seen much Rain combined with Heatran. This is kind of like the Thundurus, Landorus, Mawile, Heatran core looks like, or I guess Thundurus, Landorus, Heatran is like half of a team, and then Politoed, Kingdra, Mawile looks like the other half, and then you combine it to make a solid team. But it should be an interesting matchup, especially if my opponent brings the Rain. And we see Thundurus Politoed coming out instead. Okay, but that's fine. Terrakion Amoonguss is actually a really good counter lead to this. Now my question is whether the Politoed is Scarfed or not. Because there are two things I could do here. I could just Rock Slide Protect with the Amoonguss, predicting a taunt from the Thundurus. That way I could Spore the following turn. You know what? No, I'm just going to Rock Slide and Rage Powder this first turn. He's probably going to taunt me, that's fine. I just want to get damage off right now. And I actually really am happy he brought the Rain, because it means he's probably got Kingdra in the back, and him having Kingdra in the back is good news. No switch outs here, which is interesting. Let's see. Amoonguss goes for Rage Powder. Oh, wow. Thunder's just going for Swagger right from the start. Not going for the taunt. Maybe he doesn't have taunt? I don't know. Normally you see Swagger over HP Ice, though. Terrakion gets Rock Slide, and it does connect with both Pokemon, which is good for me here. Does a meager amount. Both Pokemon quite bulky there, but Thundurus should faint to another Rock Slide, as Politoed actually flinches, but I went for the Rage Powder expecting a Water type attack. So I'm actually going to protect Terrakion here and Spore. Yeah, I'll Spore Politoed. I'm expecting a taunt onto Amoonguss, but I'm just scouting out to see whether he actually carries it or not. Oh wow, he just T-bolted Terrakion. And Scalded, okay. So if Amoonguss gets his Spore off, I'll be really good. Oh, and it does, wow. I don't know, I can't believe that Thundurus went for a Swagger on that first turn and didn't taunt either of these turns. Like, he doesn't really... Taunt Thundurus is one of the best ways to deal with Amoonguss, but I don't know, maybe my opponent just doesn't carry it. I'll just Rock Slide here, and... I should switch out Amoonguss because I'm confused, but like, I don't really need to, that's the thing. Because I could get 2 KOs here if I just Giga Drain, so you know what? I'm just gonna go for the Giga Drain. If I get hit in confusion, that's fine. I guess this Thundurus doesn't carry taunt because it's just not going for it. It just went for an attack once again. So I knock out the Thundurus. I was expecting to get taunted right from the beginning, but that's not the case, I guess. But hey, I'm not complaining. And I snap out of confusion, so no Swagger shenanigans working out this time. I don't know, I really don't think you should be Swaggering turn 1 unless your lead matchup is just that bad. And I guess maybe he had Swagger over like taunt, which would make some more sense to me there. But Kingdra's gonna come in here, which I'm fine with. And that Rain is slowly running out too, so I'm gonna obviously protect with Terrakion here, and I'm just gonna Spore the Kingdra, even if he protects with Kingdra or has Lumberry. Like I said, this Rain is slowly falling, as Politoed, wondering what attack it went for there. I guess Protect. Kingdra actually goes for the Ice Beam, but that's fine. Amoonguss can take that easily, or not too easily, but relatively easy, and that Life Orb means he's not going to be able to take this Spore. So, like, this is something I mentioned in my team building video. Like, you really need to have a way to stop Amoonguss / Sleep. And, like, if you don't have a Lumberry user or a... okay, I'm just going to Rock Slide here and Rage Powder. Actually, yeah, in case I miss my Rock Slide. Like I was saying, like, I saw Thundurus and I was like, alright, that's his one way of shutting down Amoonguss, but it's fine because it means I'll be able to get damage off, and then I can just switch Amoonguss out. So my intent of bringing Amoonguss here was really for the Rage Powder support, but hey, I guess this ends up working out even better. As Politoed does stay asleep, don't miss Rock Slide on either, which is nice. Kingdra, of course, taking his first turn of sleep. That Life Orb is good news for me too, since I've got the Bisharp in the back, so I can just Sucker Punch and KO it at this point. As Mawile is my opponent's last one, which is really good news for me here, because I can redirect all Mawile's attacks away by with Terrakion. Well, not with Terrakion, away from Terrakion with the Amoonguss. And this Rain's running out soon, so Salamence and Bisharp basically clean up this game. I'll just close combat Kingdra and Spore the Mawile. At this point, I don't even need to make the best play. I mean, I should make the best plays, but what I mean by that is Salamence and Bisharp clean up this game anyway. So I guess worst scenario here is he wakes up. Mawile protects though, which is fine, even better for me. Does Kingdra wake up though? It doesn't. That's basically gonna be game. So yeah, Amoonguss is like one of the best Pokemon to actually have against Rain teams. Like I specifically use it on a lot of my teams just to beat Rain, because Rain teams really don't have many good answers to Amoonguss. You know, like Politoed, Kingdra, Mawile, none of those beat Amoonguss. And like I said, that Thundurus is a great way to stop Amoonguss, but my opponent didn't have Taunt or just didn't go for it. So I don't know, man. I don't know. All I know is I didn't get disconnected this game either. At least now, not now. So I'll just close combat Mawile and Rage Powder. And that Rocky Helmet plus the close combat, and then next turn close combat and an Iron Head from the Bisharp. So game, I don't know. I really feel like, first of all, I feel like I just outled my opponent, which was good. Especially given the team. Like I wasn't expecting him to go full Rain mode. He actually went for the play rough into Amoonguss, so I may be able to survive that. So I feel like I knew the bigger threats to Amoonguss were Heatran and Landorus, so I was really scared of like the Landorus lead. That was the one Pokemon I was like, okay, if he leads with Landorus, I might be in some trouble. But he didn't even bring it into this match. And you know, I do have Gengar, I do have Salamence for Intimidate, I do have Bisharp, which might have deterred him away from bringing Landorus. As I do Rage Powder and close combat once again, and that does knock out Mawile, so I'm gonna be able to win the second game of the day 4-0 actually. So you know what? That's fine. That's nice. I end up getting 2 wins today. I'm actually probably going to play outside of Road to Rank just before tomorrow because I do want to climb back up to 1800 so I can record games in there. Though we did end up with 2 really fantastic matches, I thought today. The first one being a more intense match, the second one featuring a pretty cool team. But yeah, I feel like my opponent just didn't bring the right Pokemon to handle with Amoonguss. So yeah, you know what? I'm going to play a couple more games out of this just to try to climb back to 1800 because I finally think my internet's doing alright now. All I gotta say is I'm glad I was able to record an episode for you today just because you guys are the best. I don't want to ever miss a daily upload for you all, and especially for something silly like Wi-Fi. So you know what? I lost a couple of points on the ladder, but that's fine. I'll just climb my way back up. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Leave a like always if you did, and I'll see you tomorrow. Alright, peace.